Observability is as much for monoliths as it is for microservices. A few years ago, I heard this kind of meme going around that you can't have a distributed system without these observability tools, kind of implying that for a monolith, it was less relevant. Now, with a monolith, in theory, of course, as we all know, as Charity Majors says, you can hook it up to a debugger and you can actually figure out what's going on. But in reality, in a production system, that's almost impossible. So I think this kind of idea that, oh, you need tracing to trace the requests through all these different microservices and through all these distributed systems. There's of course a lot of truth in that. And I can't imagine running any kind of microservice architecture without excellent observability. I just don't understand how anyone could possibly do that. But equally, in a monolith, it's really overlooked, is my experience at least. People think, well, in a monolith, it's relatively simple, can probably figure out what's happening. And the reality is, yes, it's simpler than in microservices, of course. But the moment you have distributed background jobs, any kind of distributed calls to APIs, you've got a distributed system. Anytime you have an API call or a background job, or your system communicates with any other piece of software, by definition, you have a distributed system. And yes, it's monolith, and yes, it's distributed. And so the only way, really, that I know of observing how that complex system works in production is by adding logs, traces, metrics, and actually being able to ask interesting questions of your application and get the answers in seconds. So I think the whole observability is for microservices thing is a bit of a fiction, really. Of course, it's for microservices, but it is as much a thing for monoliths because monoliths can get very complex very fast. That is my rant for today. Bye.